Hi everyone, well, one of my clients has a very limited range of motion in their thoracic spine. So here are some go-to drills to help mobilize that thoracic spine. Get you out of this desk-bound posture, try and get the chest nice and open, mobile and ready to move through a full range of motion. Let's start off with some teapot work. So I'm going to bring both hands up, high up on my rib cage. And from here I'm going to stand up nice and tall. I'm going to imagine that there's a ruler in the center of my chest attached to my belly button, so I'm not going to collapse through there. Up nice and tall without moving my two hips or my hip bones at the front, just rotating that thoracic side to side. Now the thoracic is one of the powerhouses of mobility, or it should be. Not only does it do flexion and extension side to side, it also does rotation. So we're going to try and take it through a full range today. So after I've done some side to side, we're then going to just be dropping down to the side as well. And remember, try to keep those hips nice and mobile, just pushing those hands into the body and just trying to mobilize that thoracic spine. We're then going to come on down to the ground after we've done those two and work on some hat drills. So the hat drills is a hip and thoracic. So your thoracic and hips are very much interrelated in how they mobilize and stabilize. So today I'm going to start off with my hands directly underneath my shoulder. My knees are directly underneath my hip and I've curled my toes under in a track start. From here I'm going to take my right leg directly out to the side and I'm going to aim to have my foot flat on the ground. From here, I'm taking my left bottom down towards my left heel and I'm going to drop down up to about 8 times. Now after I've done that, I then come back up into a neutral position, so shoulders directly over wrist, and with my right leg out, I move into an open thoracic stretch. So I'm bringing that right arm up, I'm pulsing up in this top position for 3 to 8 reps. I'm then going to take this right arm through the gate of the left arm, left knee, palm facing the ceiling, and I'm going to pulse up and down through there. Now, after I've done an open thoracic, so right leg is out, right arm comes up, place my right hand back down on the ground again, and in a neutral position, I then go into a closed thoracic drill. So left arm to the opposite arm, so the leg comes out, and I'm working to try and get that arm up to 180 degrees, so directly above my right hand on the ground. Now, if you're finding that most of your mobility is coming through your shoulder or your lumbar, here are some quick fixes to try and work on that. First one to take the lumbar out of the equation is we can push our bottom down to our heel and then we can be rotating through here with our bottom down and our heel. So we've fixed that lumbar into a neutral spine and it's limited its ability to rotate. The next one to reduce the shoulder mobility, if you're just flinging that shoulder around, is to place the hand on the back of the head and really sort of be working through that thoracic mobility as opposed to just your shoulder and lumbar doing most of the rotation. Straight after our hat drill, we sit down on the ground and we're going to be working through some chest pumps. There are 2 different ways we can do the chest pump. We can do a single leg chest pump and we're working the center point of our chest, dropping our chest down all the way up, working backwards and forwards, nice relaxed chest pumps. So as we breathe in, we expand up. As we blow our air out, we sink all the way back and down. Now don't flap those shoulders, just make sure that it's the center point of your chest that's leading the movement, so focus through there. After you've done single leg on both sides, it's a double knee chest pump. So both knees together, chest back and down and up, really focusing on that center point of your chest, doing the movement up and down. Following on from some chest pumps, we're going to go into some shoulder aids. So working that shoulder mobility because it's directly related to how your thoracic is going to be working. So we're going to be kneeling or standing up nice and tall. I place the left hand on my left hip. I'm then going to drop to the side and I push my right arm up as hard as I can and I pull my right fingers back down towards my body. So I'm pushing up and I'm pulling down and you'll get a nice long stretch down through there. I then take this hand all the way out near to some big figure 8s or a big circle, whatever you're comfortable with. And you'll feel a few cracks and pops and a bit of grinding in that shoulder as we just try to stretch out some of the fascia, increase the joint space and stretch out the nerve up through there. Now the final one, or the final two, is going to be a thoracic extension. So I've just got myself a nice comfortable pillow here. I've folded it over. I'm going to place that on the ground and I'm going to spend 1 to 5 minutes with that pillow underneath my thoracic, just stretching out and holding through here. So nice and relaxed, you can see how that's increased my extension on my thoracic, the reverse of sitting at my desk. And I'm just going to stretch that out and hold that through there. Be careful rolling out of that in case you get a little bit stiff and sore. And then the final one today is just some pandiculation. So almost just that stretch that you do when you start to yawn. That's a really good way to increase the mobility, but also so that that mind-muscle connection between the muscles that you're working and your brain. So here's what I want you to do. I just want you to imagine you've hopped out of bed, you're a bit stiff and sore, and you've gone straight into a big yawn, and you're doing a really big, nice squeeze, flex, and stretch out, and then come back down. And I want you to repeat that about 3 times. So, big deep breath in, blow that air out, pretend you're having a big yawn or a big stretch, squeeze the muscles in the spine, hold it through there so you're nice and controlled, and then relax, breathe it out. Now, they're just some simple mobility drills for your thoracic. Let me know